Okay, welcome to the What's New in eLearning session, Ready to Teach session delivered by the Italy eLearning team. So the Italy eLearning team supports essential eLearning tools, so i.e. Blackboard, Turnitin and lots of others. And we run the workshops, produce guides for staff and students, do one-on-one consultations. We do change management and project management on tools as well as vendor management. And we also have support through help at elearning.uq.edu.au. So if you've got any questions during the session, please add them to the chat. We'll try and answer them in the chat as we go, as well as at the end. Acknowledgement of country. The University of Queensland acknowledges the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we meet. We pay our respects to their ancestors and their descendants who continue cultural and spiritual connections to country. We recognise their valuable contributions to Australian and global society. In this session, we will give you an update on Blackboard Ally, the inbuilt accessibility tool for Ultra, and Valeria will deliver that section. Then she'll also give you a quick overview of Ultra course banners and the changes. I'll go through some tips on the new Turnitin that comes from the early adopters over summer semester, and Tanya will give you an overview of the enhanced new similarity report. We'll then hand to Hong, who will give you some tips on improving your document design, as well as some information on uploading videos to Echo Video. And we'll give you a summary of our services and support available at the end, as well as answering any further questions. And I'll now hand to Illyria.
Thanks, Elsa. Just share my screen with you all. Okay, fabulous. So I'll be talking to you a bit about Blackboard Ally today, which Elsa mentioned is an accessibility tool which plugs into your Ultra courses this semester. The first feature of Ally, which is very exciting, is alternative formats that are just automatically available for staff and students. This, of course, is very beneficial to your students because all it requires you to do is to upload your resources like normal. It also works on existing resources. It'll run it through an accessibility checklist and it'll make the alternative formats available to the students automatically with no additional work on your part. I will be taking you through an example of how the students will do this so that you're aware how they can access it in your course site, as well as explaining which alternative formats are available. I thought it'd be worth mentioning, though, at the beginning that our Italy eLearning team is deploying and testing Ally, and we'll give you an overview of some of these features now. But Italy will also be running a broader inclusivity teaching and learning project. So that's also going to be happening, and there'll be consultation with staff throughout the year. So the alternative formats that are available to students, there's a wide range, as you can see from this list here. The only one I want to mention at the moment that's disabled is translated version, which it currently just needs a little bit further consultation before it is enabled. But otherwise, all of the alternative formats that you can see here are available to students. How do the students access them? So it depends on the type of file that's uploaded. If it is a file that has been directly uploaded to a learning module or folder, you'll see that there is a download alternative formats icon there. And what I want to do is I'm going to pop into student preview as well, so you can see this actually from a student's perspective. You'll see there's some other little icons, which I'll explain in a moment. So the students will see the download alternative formats icon there, and they'll simply click on the icon and they'll see the range of alternative formats that are available. So depending on the type of file, that'll then depend on what alternative formats are available. The students can also download the original file or select the type of file that they want to download. The other way that they might see this icon, so this is for documents uploaded directly, but for an Ultra native document, which you create within Ultra itself, if you click on the title of the Ultra native document, I just wanted to point out that the icon is actually within the page itself in the top right-hand corner. So a slightly different location depending on the type of file. I'm going to give you a demonstration today of one of these types of files using an example that I have here. So I'm going to select the immersive reader and I'm going to click on download. All of these files, by the way, don't need internet connection. It's just the immersive reader that does, as you'll see in a moment, because it actually launches live within the browser for students. So the way the immersive reader works is it'll actually read out the text to you.
Vincent van Gogh. Summary of Van Gogh's life. Vincent van.
So you can see it's reading out the text to me. I also have control over the speed and also the voice selection. So I can change those now.
March 30th, 1853 to July 29th, 1890, was a Dutch post-impressionist painter who was among the most famous and influential figures in the history of
to accommodate, of course, students' different preferences. In the top right-hand corner here, you can see we've got some text preferences as well. So you can make the text larger or smaller. It does by default increase the spacing. You can, however, turn that off if you don't like that view. You've got a range of different fonts depending on what students would prefer to read on, what device they're on. We've also received feedback that Comic Sans is great for those with dyslexia as well. You've got some themes, so those who love their dark mode and makes the text stand out in more contrast, you've got a range of different themes available to you. And by default, it shows the source formatting. What that's referring to is if you look at the heading at the very top there, it's a header, so it's bolded, but you can, however, turn that off and then it will just appear as normal text. Next along, we've got some great features here which identify parts of the speech. So firstly, you can turn on syllables and you can see it breaks it down into the individual syllables. You've got parts of the speech that you can highlight. These are great for those with English as a second language, and you can customize the different colors as well to your preference. It can even show you the labels of which is a noun, which is an adverb, etc. The last little option here is line focus, which is great for consuming this content. It can focus on a particular line, on 3 lines, or a group of lines together. So as you're playing,
in just over a decade, he created about 2,100 artworks.
Some other things that are automatically on, just to make you aware of, is if you click on a particular word, depending on the type of word, it'll try and do a particular little picture graphic to explain what it means. So it's not available on everything, but it is available in some of the words. Just be careful because they're not all entirely accurate. That's a little rundown of one of the types of formats that are available to students. As you can see, there were many. So we highly recommend you check those out in your course. And most importantly, that you let your students know about them as well. So you can do this through a course announcement, just letting them know that alternative formats are available this semester, linking them to a student guide, or doing a demonstration during a lecture. But please make sure that you are doing so in student preview mode, just so that only the alternative format icon will appear. I'll explain in a moment why that's important, because there are additional icons that are also available for staff. So switching now to the staff focus, you also have access to an instructor feedback panel. And I do want to stress that what I'm about to show you is optional. It's not something that's required for you to do, but it's highly recommended that you check out these icons, see what they can do if you have some time, and try and make your course as accessible as possible. Because essentially what Ally is doing is it's scanning in your course content, and it's essentially giving it a rating based on any accessibility issues that it's found. And it'll provide you with the detailed guidance on how to fix those issues, sometimes even doing it for you, and if not, giving you details and instructions of how to do so. The goal of this tool is really to improve awareness so that the content we're uploading to Blackboard is as accessible as possible for our students. So you may have noticed before that we have a little icon that's appearing here next to my document. Now, as with most things, usually red means that there's room for improvement. And this is the color coding that is available. By the way, feel free to pop any questions in the chat. I'll answer them as soon as I'm finished my little segment here. So you've got scores all the way from low all the way to perfect. And these are essentially based on how many accessibility issues Ally has found with the content or in your course in general. So for this document here, if I click on the little icon, you can see that I've got a low rating. The reason being, I can see my document on the left-hand side in a preview, and on the right-hand side, I've got my accessibility score. It's saying it's currently 5%. And if you click on the All Issues button, it'll show me the reason it's 5% is because the PDF is untagged. If I tagged that PDF file, it would increase the score up to 93%. And then you can also do things like adding a language set or adding a title to the PDF, which will announce it to a screen reader. So it's picking up on a range of different issues that most people wouldn't be aware of with a document that they've just uploaded to Blackboard. For documents, you can see this icon just to the right-hand side, similar to where the alternative formats button is. But if it's an ultra-native document, again, these are in a slightly different location, which I'm going to demonstrate for you now, and also show you how we can address some of these issues really easily. So I'm going to click on the Introduction to Monarch Butterfly title here to launch our learning module, an ultra-native document. So to view my rating, I actually need to click on the Edit Content button in the top right-hand corner. It may take a moment because it's going to be scanning my document live, and you can see I've got a rating of 70%. Not terrible, not great. So let's see how we can make this better. I'm going to go ahead and click on that icon now. Once again, you'll see the previews on the left-hand side for our instructor feedback panel, and on the right-hand side, it's going to be identifying the issues. Let's work through them together and show you how easy it is to make some of these changes. So the first one is telling me that the text here has insufficient contrast, which it definitely does. Blackboard usually will make sure that when you're creating a new document, it gives you only accessible options. This one I've copied in from another document just to show you how it works. So I'm going to choose this color option instead, which Blackboard deems and Ally deems accessible, and I'm going to click on Apply. It's going to go ahead and go, no worries, I've changed that colored text for you. Let's move to the next issue. The next one is essentially I've gone to create a header and I've decided I don't want that heading anymore, but I've left an empty heading tag, which to a screen reader would announce it as a heading. So since I didn't mean to do this, I'm going to select the option to remove the empty heading, go apply, and you can see my score already from 70% has moved up to 76% in less than a minute. The next one along is an image I've uploaded without an alternative text description. Essentially, for someone who can't visually see this image, they're not going to understand what it is. So you have two options. The first one is to indicate the image is decorative if it's an image purely for decorative purposes. In this example, though, it has a figure number attached and it adds to the content on the page. So I'd argue that this one here does need an alternative text description. Now, I don't even have to add this in myself because AI is our friend. We can click on the Auto Generate Description button. And what that's going to do is it's going to create some suggested text for me. What it's come up with is a vibrant orange monarch butterfly with black veins and white spots perched on a pink flower against a blurred green background. That's pretty spot on, but please always check these for accuracy first. I'm going to go, excellent, I'm happy with that, and click on the Save button. It's going to apply that alternative text for me, improving my score to 88% for this content item. The next one along is it's saying that my table here doesn't have a heading. It's essentially saying it doesn't know which is the right one. Is it the top meant to be a heading? Is the side meant to be a heading? So I'm going to select which option. For my table here, really the first row and the first column are meant to be headings. So I'm going to select that option and click on Apply. And once again, Ally is going to do this for me. I only have two issues left. The major one here, which I will address in a moment, is that the headings don't begin at the highest level. But the one I wanted to point out quickly is this very bottom video here. It's saying that this item has videos with automated to no captions. Or no captions. So I had to search really hard to find a video with no captions to show you this. Most YouTube videos do, but I'm just pointing out here that with this option, there is no guidance available. Essentially, you either delete the video or you're just aware that it has no captions. So I'm just trying to draw attention to the fact that really we're trying to make sure that all of our videos do have automated captions where we can. So the highest heading in this item do not begin at the highest. The headings in this item do not begin at the highest level. Ally can't change this for me because it's actually changing my content. So I've got to do this myself, but it's very easy to do. So what I've done here is for the learning objectives, instead of selecting title, since it's the first heading in this text group, it needs to be the top option, which is a title. So I'm going to go ahead and select title. That's what it's meant to be, is trying to say this is what needs to happen. And then below this one, you can see originally this one was a subheader, but since I've moved my header up to a title, I need to also make this one a header accordingly. So it goes from the highest to the lowest options. I'm also going to do some things like fix some formatting here. So sometimes when you change colors of text or image alternative text, it can add some spaces. So I'm just going to make sure I'm happy for everything here. Okie dokie, I'm going to go ahead and click on the X in the top right-hand corner, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. Super important. If you don't save, it won't save your changes. So here you can see in a couple of minutes, I've made a document from 70% accessible pretty much all the way up to 100. So you can do this quickly and easily with any of your content. The other thing to note is if you create an ultra native document, you can see Ally does most of the work for you because it's editable. However, if it's a file that's uploaded, especially something like a PDF file, which you can't edit live, you're going to have to do a lot of downloading in additional software like Adobe Acrobat to tag a PDF and re-upload. So we highly recommend, where possible, trying to create native Ultra documents instead. Okie dokie. Next one along. The last feature of Ally we want to show you today is the course accessibility report. This is available in every single course and essentially gives you that rating score that I just showed you, but for an entire course level. So in my course again, I'm going to scroll up to the top and we're going to our details and actions section in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and click on View Course and Institution Tools. And we're going to access our accessibility report, which very handy is the very first option in our list. That's going to launch our course accessibility report. Again, this is something optional for you to look at the data and just see how you could make your course more accessible. So at the very top here, it gives you a breakdown of all of the content it's been able to understand and how many of each are in your course. It's going to give you a little wizard that'll take you through. Maybe these are some of the first issues you might want to start with because they're the easiest to fix. It also will show you the lowest scoring content. So by addressing that, it'll increase your score in total. And below you can see it also breaks down the issues and groups the content together. This is where I find it the easiest place to start because it also orders it from the most severe to the least severe. So you can see the most severe issue here is I've uploaded a scanned document that is essentially not OCR'd, so you can't select the content. An easy quick fix though is if you click on, say, this issue here, the image does not have a description, and just select an image. We're familiar with how to do this from my demonstration before, but essentially you could auto-generate your description, assuming the content doesn't need to be decorative, check it for accuracy, click on add, and now that particular item is 100%, and our course score overall will improve as well. So you can see how looking at this at a course level was a lot of interesting data. Okie dokie. I'll just have a quick look. Yep, cool. So no questions. If you have any, please pop them in the chat. We're very happy to answer them. Okie dokie. Moving on to the next section now. I'm going to be talking to you about your course banner. In your course, you may have an existing banner from the course that's been copied from the previous semester. Or if your course is a new course, you might have this beautiful purple jacaranda banner, which you can see on my course here. This is essentially the default banner. So the first option you have here is to keep the jacarandas if you are a fan of them. But if you have a banner from a previous course that has, say, for example, text in it like your course code, unfortunately, the way that Ultra is viewable this semester, the text will be cut off. So we really need you to change your image in that case to either option 2 or option 3. So let's do the second option, which is selecting a banner from Unsplash. To edit and change your course banner, there's a little edit icon in the top right-hand corner of your banner. If you click on that button, and then you'll see at the top here, we have the course image, which previews it here. I'm going to click on the little picture icon to the right of course image. I don't want to upload from my device for this example, and instead I'm going to click on the drop down and select stock images from Unsplash. Here, you can add in a key term and click on search, and you can search through Unsplash's gallery. I'm going to click on the next button, wait until I can find an image that I think might suit. You can see I've got over 10,000 results to choose from here. I'm going to select this little image here and then click on the next button. I simply need to click and drag to select which part of the image will be displayed, keeping in mind that the image will be smaller or larger depending on where it's being viewed. It's important where possible as well to avoid text. So this is kind of in a picture, so it's not too bad. But if you're putting in your course code or any important text that is going to be cut off, definitely don't recommend doing that. Well, you can see we've got a little preview here, and if we click on save, it'll show you what it'll look like at a course level here as well. And you can do that as many times as you like until you find the right image. The other option is essentially uploading an image from Adobe Stock Photo. So again, UQ has a site-wide license for that, so any staff can log in and access this. Essentially, you go to the Adobe Stock website. Once again, I'm going to enter in a key term, and I'm going to search. Just give it a moment to find. So again, these galleries have so many pictures for you to choose from. You'd essentially find the image that you want to use, that you think would suit, and then you license and download that image. And if it's been re-downloaded by someone else in the university, you'll have a re-download instead of a download button. I'm going to go ahead again and click on the edit button, click on the little picture icon, and you can see by default it says upload from device. I'm going to find that file that I just downloaded, clicking and dragging again to select the part I want. You can also zoom in and zoom out, and I'm going to click on save. Then I'm going to click on save again, and you can see I have my very own custom banner. So we do highly recommend doing that before the course is made available to students, and also just to make it different from the other courses that they're taking this semester, because there could be up to 4. Okie dokie. I'm now going to pass on to Elsa, who'll be talking about new Turnitin assignment tips.
Thank you, Illyria. So the new Turnitin version became the default on the 27th of January, and it will need to be used for all semester 1 courses. The old version is still available for summer semester staff and students for assignment submission and marking. The tips I'm just going to go through are based on feedback from the early adopters from summer, so thank you to those course coordinators. I do have slides with the tip, but I'll actually go through and demo, but the slides with all the tips listed will be available. We'll send you in the follow-up email. All right, let's just start with our turned in. So we've got our standard course in our template, and of course in the assessment folder, or it may be a module with an icon. You'll have a folder per assessment item, and I've already put in my turned in submission link. Note that I've same title as the course profile, and I've added turn in submission link at the end to make sure it's really clear it's for submission, and at the top of the folder, a long-term request from the students to make sure it's easy to find. Just before I do that, I would want to add in some instructions. There's a new way of doing that. So I'll just show you. If I click here and I go to the learning object repository, all the instructions are in here. I just select the instructions. So these are technical instructions for students and insert objects. Note the instructions, and I'd have to press refresh as well. Note the instructions are currently for the old version. They'll be updated next Monday, but there'll be no changes to the links. Now, just with the link, just a couple of tips here. If I click on edit, we don't recommend opening in a new window anymore. There was some issues reported by a very small percentage of students who had difficulty, so we're not recommending opening in a new window. Just a quick reminder, the due date, once you set up the link, if you need to make changes to the due date, you'll need to do that in the link. The category we suggest is assignment. The description I've updated. By default, it's the same as the instructions you put in for the turn-in assignment, but I've changed to just click on the link to submit your assignment. So there's some tips there. If we click on the link and we go into the assignment, just a quick new functionality that you may be to bring your attention to is that you can grant extensions to individual students. So the extensions could be hours. So maybe if they're having a technical difficulty, you can give them a 2-hour extension, for example, but normally days. So I'm going to give this student a 3-day extension, turn in or work out the date. You just put in the number of days and confirm, and that'll show there. And the student can keep submitting up until the due date. They'll get similarity reports and they won't get any late messages. So that's a great new functionality. Let's look at the settings and some of the tips for the settings. So I'm going to click on Edit Settings here. So we've talked about making sure you name it with the same as the course profile, put turned in submission at the end. Normally these instructions are referred to the assignment task sheet. And remember, this will also be added under the link, so you might want to change that in the link. Feedback release date, make sure that is the end of semester. Remember, the marks will be released as soon as this date passes. Lots safer to make at the end of semester when you've actually finished marking, come back and change it. Main thing to remember with these settings is you need to allow late submissions. And we do recommend marking out of 100. For this example, I have marked it out of 30, so the assessment's worth 30%, and the course coordinator wants to show a mark out of 30 in grade book. As far as, there are the assignment settings. The report settings are here. Tanya will talk more about them, but basically we recommend the default settings. Make sure you choose one at a time and allow students to view the similarity report to meet UQ policy. And we don't recommend exclusions because we want the text to match because that's part of the sort of teaching component of the similarity reports that Tanya will talk about, educating the students about looking at why the text is matching. and not the percentage. The big tips here are for rubrics. So there's 2 rubric screens. This screen is what I call the select the rubric screen, where you select which rubric to attach to your assignment. But if I click on rubric manager here, this is where we manage the rubrics. So first, one of the big tips is you'll need to import your rubrics. So your old rubrics from the classic version of Turned-In will not be in the new version. You'll need to click on this button. It'll take a couple of minutes. You only have to do it once, and then you'll have your list of all your rubrics. Another big tip from one of the course coordinators who had lots of rubrics is to tidy up your rubric list. So you can archive rubrics and you can also star them. So here's all my rubrics, but I can also go to the ones I've archived and unarchive if I want to reuse them, but it does reduce this list in here. And I can also star them. I can have my favourite rubrics easy to find. If you want to create a rubric, you would just click on Create Rubric and you have the 4 options that you had previously. The big difference is there's some new functionality for the weighted rubric, which I think used to be called the standard rubric, is that you can add mark ranges. I won't go through that, but there is a quick way to start your rubrics, and that's institutional rubrics. So I'm going to click on institutional rubrics. And I'll just show you one. It's basically their templates, so there's no descriptors or criterion titles. There's basically, though, the ranges have already been added. And what's with the naming convention? Basically, this is saying it's a weighted rubric. Grade 2, the lower boundary of grade 2 is 30. Grade 3, the lower boundary of grade 3 for this rubric template is 45. To use them, you just duplicate them. So 3 dots and duplicate. It will briefly show in the institutional list, then it'll disappear and it'll be available in your My Rubrics list, and you can edit it and fill in the descriptors, etc. So it just makes it a bit quicker. The other thing that you probably will want to do is change your old rubrics. You might need to duplicate them to mark range rubric. So i.e. I've got this one, I've duplicated it to reuse, and then I would download it as a spreadsheet. And I have one I've done already. So there's the rubric. I need to change the rubric type and I need to add in scales. So I've got one I've already done. So as you can see, I've changed the rubric type. You have to make sure this is exact capitalization and spaces to a weighted rubric. And I've also added in ranges, and note the ranges go highest to lowest. And that's really important, or it will not upload. As far as whether you have the grades going from highest to lowest to highest, that doesn't matter, but the mark ranges must go lowest to highest. So when you've updated to the spreadsheet and you've saved it, then you would come in here and you would import it. So just select it. I'll just cancel that. So that's rubrics. And let's quickly look at marking. I'm just running out of time here. So just quickly on the marking. The marking is very similar. The things to note is you've got the tabs at the top. In the feedback tab, adding in quick marks and marks is the same. Basically highlight the text and you can select the quick mark. The main difference is, well, there is new functionality, is I can pin items, for example, and they all show up neatly in the margins. By the way, I can click on this to expand and collapse that, and I can also click on the layers here and show the similarity report if I want. And if I go to, so that's the quick marks. By the way, you will need to import your quick marks just like rubrics is. They will need to be imported from the classic version. And if you have a lot, I do recommend tidying them up, archiving them, and also starring. The summary is here. There's no audio comment available at the moment. It is on the vendor's roadmap, but we're not sure when it will be made available. And as you can see, the pinned comments go under here. just with the rubrics. So the rubrics are here. You can use the slider. Feedback from the early adopters is they found the slider a bit finicky, too sensitive, and also you can actually go off the slider and you can get a mark more than the criteria is worth. I don't think I managed to do that. Oh, there you go. So what we recommend is you actually just type it in, press enter, make sure you commit it, and you can also look at this in the full version. The full version actually displays in the format that you set it up, and if you click on one of these, it defaults to the top of the range, but you can change that. Note that it will show a mark for the rubric out to 2 decimal places, and if I apply this to the grade, again, it will convert it to a mark out of 30, which will go to gradebook, and it is to 2 decimal places. So that's the main features. Just one little thing to be aware of. Just close that. And cancel. There are insights here if you like in learning analytics. So you've got your breakup per criteria and you can download that. By the way, group submission is still not available. We still recommend turned in, and there's notes on how to do that if you need a similarity report. It is on the vendor's roadmap for this year, but we don't actually expect to implement it till next year. Thank you, and I'll hand to Tanya.
Thank you, Elsa, and let's take you all through the enhanced similarity report. So if you experience the classic version, you will see that the new design is much clearer, gives us much clearer presentation and give us some improved features. So the similarity report is generated for every Turnitin submission according to the settings that Elsa just shown you. And it's stored in the assignment inbox. I'm going to demo you quickly. So here in the submission list. So what is actually similarity report? So you could see here similarity scores for each submission student made. So similarity report is a tool that compares student submission against Turnitin massive database. So it's billions of web pages, archive internet content, and all previously submitted students' papers and journals and articles. So the report generates a percentage score that indicates how much the text of that work, students' work, matches the existing sources. So it's important to remember that it's a high similarity score does not automatically mean plagiarism. So it could reflect properly cited quotes, references. It could be simply common phrases. So, and as we all know, the text matching is simply where the ideas or words of other people are presented in the work, where the plagiarism is simply those ideas and works, but without proper acknowledgement or being given the credit or attribution. So that's the difference. And the similarity report only highlights matches. So it's important to remember that it is text matching tool. So, and then you, as the instructor, you can make informed decision about whether or not the similarity is legitimate or problematic. So here's an example. Two students' work in front of you. So the first one is the 5%, so basically very, very low score, or I'll say very low number, and the other one is 30%. Where the first case is simply copy-paste, where the second work is, for example, this text is essay question. This is a citation, and this is probably just a common fact, and the properly made quote is just maybe a simple, paraphrasing, and of course references list. So what I want to bring to your attention that the high number does not mean that the work being plagiarized. Now, just to show you those new features and a new design of the similarity report, I'm going to use the Turnitin similarity report example, which I'm going to send the link to in our chat. So you can also open up on your computer and click it with me, click on those parts. So once you've got the report and once you click on this similarity percentage, it will open up a page, something like this. So the field feedback studio, where you can see that the similarity of this particular work is 38%, and also the similarity shown on this side panel. So basically there are two tabs here, match groups and sources. Sources is probably something that you are familiar if you use the Turnitin already, or Turnitin similarity report already, and we might look at it a bit more just in a few minutes. Let's talk about the match groups that is different to the new enhanced version of the similarity report. So the AI assistant behind look through all of the text matches is actually organizing them in groups. And then it highlights them in the corresponding match group color. So there are 4 of those groups, and let's go through each of them. Let's click on the first one. So the first group in the red color is not cited, not quoted. So it means match are not written as the quotation or have no citation to the original sources. So those matches something that might require your attention, or further investigation. So let's click on any of those matches here. So you get in the once you click on it, it will provide you all information on the match. It gives you the source. It also highlights the part of the text where this been matched to. So same with the all others. You could see you've got the number here. And let's talk about next group. So the next one in the orange, let's everyone click on that. It's missing quotation. So text is cited, but the match is so exact that it might also require the quotation mark. So that's gives you. Let's click on this one too. So we've got the number, match number, and we also given the whole text. You can actually click here and open up view full source text. So it gives you the actual match source. So the next group, similar to the missing quotation, but in this case, it's a missing citation. Very similar way. Once you click on that, it brings you to that spot in the student's work and also the source. And I just want to talk about this. The fourth group, the cited and quoted. So text contains the correct use of quotation and is cited properly. This match is a great opportunity to spotlight students' strengths and encourage them to build. Also, this is a very useful information for students, so to show them what they did well. So that's probably major updates in terms of new similarity, the way that similarity report provides you with the information. And so if we click on the source up here, you will see all of them listed as we go. You can click on that. You can also exclude that source, for example, exclude that match from the score, similarity score. You can also use the filters functionality here. But once again, those exclusion, you might want to actually exclude small matches, and you can actually specify you don't want to see any 2 or 3 words match. But in terms of everything else, especially bibliography, is something that you don't want to exclude, and it's not recommended to exclude. It might be just something new written and you want to be aware of, to know a new source, or if it's not matching, it could be a made up source. So just be careful. And another feature here in the new similarity report is the flags here at the top next to the similarity tab. So if we click on the flags here, it's fully integrated into the report, and this feature helps you as an instructor identify instances where students have deliberately manipulated text to kind of trick the system maybe, or the check-in. So if we click on the flags tab, you could see, sorry, let me go back to the similarity and click on the flags. It actually will provide you with information why it's been flagged. Once we click on that, it brings us where the instances are, and it tells what it is. In this case, it's a Greek alpha character being inserted, whether or not purposely, we don't know, but something that you might want to discuss with the student. So as you could see, the new similarity report is not just a cosmetic update, but an improved tool to help you and students to follow, to comply with academic integrity. And I have everything that I've just spoken, we've got on our slides that you're going to receive after our session, and also some further resources for you. And now I'm going to pass to Hon, who's going to talk about the Ultra document design.
Thank you, Tanya. And now in my turn, I'm going to go to bring you back to the Ultra Blackboard, and we'll be focusing on document design. And by document here, I mean the native document within an Ultra course site. So this document tool allows instructor to create rich and structured learning materials directly within their course. And those documents have to present the content in a clear, streamlined format, and making it easier for students to follow instruction and hopefully engage more effectively with their weekly learning content. And in our recommendation, we think that this tool is ideal for building learning guides, activity briefs, or topic overviews. So for that, I'm going to show you how the document look like in an Ultra course site. So this is my site. And in week 1, I have 2 examples of the same content created in the native document tool within Ultra. So let me use the student preview mode to show you that from a student perspective. So as the student, I go into week 1 and I can read the instruction from my course coordinator. And just a note that with the recent development, both staff and student have the navigation bar on the left-hand side. So here I am at the first document. So previously, you might create the document with all those text in a document for the student. So this is the document that I have the permission to use from a real course at UQ. And this is another document with a bit more editing format that Ultra allow you to use. So with this one, I have broken the text into different chunks, and I can use different formatting style to focus the student onto different chunk of information. And that one, hopefully the student can check on the information that they need as they provide this complex video for submission. So in order to create this one, I'm going to exit the student preview mode. And I show you how you can create that document with the styling. So you can open the relevant learning folder and select the relevant position where you want to create the document. Click on the purple plus button and select the Create from the drop-down menu. And select Document from the side menu on the right-hand side. And we will start from the top with the title of the document. And here within the main content, we are going to use different content block in order to style the information that we provide for the student. So I am copy paste the information that I have from my Word document. And from Illyria sections, we learned that for the document to be more accessible to the student, we want to have the header in this. So for this one, I'm going to use a header for my block of text in here. And in another block of text, I have another information that I want to send to the student. And for this one, I have 2 chunks of text in here. And at the top of each text block, I can have a different style that I can use to enhance the visibility within the document here. So this one is my key point, so I can select key point. And in my second text, I would like the student to ask any question if they are in doubt. So I have 2 texts with different styling in format. And here I would like to show you another tip that you can resize the chunk of text here, and then you can use the 6 dot to move the different block of text. So for example, visibly, I have these 2 block of text with similar length. So it looks good if I put them together side by side like this. And then I can create another block of text down here, and I can use different style. And you can keep going until you can have the document that you think that it looks good. And before you move out of the document, you can click on the Save button here. And you can make it visible and view that from a student perspective to see how it looks like. So that is the first content that I would like to share today. And in my part, I would also like to share about the video tool in Ultra. So I would like to talk about the Echo Video. Echo Video is UQ centrally supported platform for creating, managing, and delivering video-based learning content. For the instructors, you can record the lectures, upload videos, and organize media for the courses that you teach. And for the student, they can view the recording, take notes, and engage with the content at their own time and pace. And the two main reasons why we recommend uploading your video to Echo Video is, first, uploading videos directly from your course site will increase the overall course size, and it will impact the performance of the course. And second, the video that you upload to Echo Video will automatically generate the captions. Therefore, it will improve the accessibility in the course. So again, to demonstrate about the video tool, I'm going to show the two videos that I have uploaded here. So this is one video, but there are two ways that you can upload the video onto a course site. The first one is the direct upload. And after direct uploading this video, you can see that the student can see a little icon in here. And just make sure that the title of the video will be the title that you save the file from your device. And you can use the three dot in order to edit the title so the student can easily recognize that this is the video after they click on the link. So let me click on the link. And even if I use the student preview mode, it will show the same display here. Student will directly see the video display on the screen. And then if I go to the other type, which I created as a document, so similar way that I created a document before, I will create a document in here. And the reason why I use document in order to embed the video here is that if you have instruction for the student, for example, before the student watch the video, what should they do? While they watch the video, what should they do? And after they watch the video, if you want to ask the student other question or some ideas for them to think after the video, or this one is a knowledge check. The document type is the one that you can add more information within the page here, including the video. So let me go back here, and among the two types here, I'm going to demonstrate the video that is embedded within a document because the other type is quite similar. So let's create a document. And then in the document, you also need to have the title of the video. And then, as I said that before the video, we want to provide students with the instruction. So I just want to demo a block of text that I will edit that later. But the main part here is to upload the video. And in order to upload the video, we initially create a block of text first. And then within this block of text, you have that plus button to insert the content, and click on the down arrow where you can find the content market. And within the content market, we will click on the Echo Video Deep Linking tool. And it will bring you straight to the Echo Video platform. But for myself, I would need to enter my credential because I have slightly different access to the tool from you. So please ignore my sign-in part here. So this is the page where you will be directly brought into Echo Video. And there are two steps that you need to do. The first step is to upload the media because this is the file that you have from your device. You need to upload that to Echo platform first. So suppose that I have already uploaded my video, click on this, the message will be popping up saying that your upload has been successful. Then it brings you to this page again. And in the second step, you will click on Launch Media Picker. And these are the video that I have already uploaded on my Echo Video Library. So simply select the video that I wanted to embed. And there's a setting here that I like to highlight with you. Discussions means that you allow the student to discuss about the video content. However, it doesn't provide student with the instruction. So recommended to uncheck that discussions and provide student with more structured instruction if you would like student to discuss about the video content. Click on the embed button when you finish. And when you see this message, you can close the browser, the tab on your browsers, and then you can click on Insert Video. So if you want to change the display name here and then click on Insert, just note that it won't change the name, the display name, because this name is the file name that you have already been saved in your Echo Video. So you would need to change the Echo Video title first before you do the embed task in here. Click on Insert, and the video will be displayed onto the document. And if you want to create more questions for the student to discuss down here, you can create another block of text down here. And do not remember to click on the Save button before moving out. So that is the content that I would like to share with you today about how to create the document and with different styling, and also how to embed the document, embed video within the document. And now I will give it back to Elsa to talk about our service.
Elsa, do you want me to talk? I might just quickly, very briefly, talk about the responsibility of our team. So our team manages the university's central e-learning tools and provides support to all staff and teaching assistant. You can easily find our services on our website, elearning.edu.edu.au. Here's a simply slide to summarize our services. We have a staff dedicated team, the staff e-learning help desk. They will help you with all technical issues. The best way to get in touch with them is via email. Our small team of the e-learning advisors, we organize and facilitate the workshops. So it can be customized for your course, or there are some, centrally run and some custom made workshops. We also provide one-on-one consultations to teaching staff, so you can easily book time with one of our advisors. It's 1.5 hours to go over your site, maybe help you with some of the tools. And we also look after our e-learning guides, so that provides you with all detailed instructions, step-by-step instructions to help you through setting up your courses. And I might just pass it to Elsa to see if there is any questions to conclude our session. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone to join in our What's New in e-Learning session. Over to you, Elsa. Elsa, you are muted. All right, I could see there were a few questions in the chat that Elsa had replied in the chat. So if anything outstanding, we will include in our follow-up. Oh, here's Elsa.
Right. So if you have a question, hold it.
I think you had actually replied to most of them. I think there is only one from Michael that hasn't been answered for student video assignment submissions.
For student video assignment submissions, can they also no longer upload directly and must use the Echo Video to embed? Yes. So that's the same for students. If they try to use the old tool, a message will pop up and it will direct them to an instructions page, and then they'll have a link to either staff instructions or student instructions. So they do get a message telling them they need to use Echo. Does anyone
Great,
ever
thanks.
have questions? And Mark Collins, feel free to cut us off if you need us to end. Anyone got any questions about Ally or Turnitin? All right. Just with those workshops, we can run workshops for you, custom workshops for your school or faculty. So if you like an Ally workshop, for example, there is one running an Ally this week, and there's also workshops running on Turnitin. But you can have a custom one at the time and date of your choosing. Just email eLearning advisors. And I might just finish up there. Thank you, everyone.